Hello everyone, this is Andy and I'm back with another video. Okay, so this video what I'm going to go ahead and do is go over how to change the server message that shows up when you first log into the game. So it's very simple. Just go into your Darkstar folder and go into the config folder, and then you're going to go ahead and just pop open the server message, and that's it. So you can type pretty much anything you want here. I recommend leaving it just a couple of lines, because this is just a brief message. You want people to, so for example, like this was to join us on Discord or something like that, visit my YouTube channel or something. So if it's too long, and people who are not too familiar with the game, they won't be able to read the message anyway. So I recommend just a couple of lines, but it's pretty much up to you. Okay, so next what I'm going to go ahead and do, as I said in the last video, I'm going to just briefly go over how to basically get people to connect to your server. And the way I did it, I just tried to have something interesting when I did my first run back in, I believe, 2016, 2017. Just to make something interesting, keep the people up to date, and they'll probably want to go in your server just to test it out. And there are different things that you can do. I'm not exactly sure how to move around notorious monsters and things like that, but I'm sure there's a way. But yeah, you just have to make your server interesting in order to get the people to connect to your server. Anyways, just going into the folder here. So this folder here, the config folder, what you want to do is go ahead and pop this one open. And the most important thing, you're going to have to find out your IP address. Basically, it's your public IP address, so not this one here. This is your local IP address, meaning within your computer. But your public IP address is the one when you connect to other websites like Google and other search engine and stuff. That's the IP address that is that they're tracking you by, basically. So, and that's the IP address you're gonna have to share with your friends in order to get them to connect to your Final Fantasy server. Again, I've done it. It worked. So I know this actually works with no problems. It is just very time consuming, and what you're gonna have to do is basically change everything as far as like all these IP addresses, and not the ports. The ports, and that's another thing. Another issue you may have is you may have to switch over some of the ports that are being used by other applications. So let's say, for example, this this OBS is using this port here. So I may have to switch the OBS port to not interfere with the Final Fantasy one in order for this to work properly. And it's a bit of a hassle, because I did have some port issues one time. There are some port applications we're going to have to go in a little bit more in depth as far as how to find which ports are being used. You can actually do everything within your firewall settings in your computer. So it's pretty simple. Just type this, so check firewall status, and if you open it, explore around with it. I mean, do a couple of Google searches. Of course, please don't show anyone your firewall settings or anything, because they can basically hack you. So just go in your do a couple of Google searches on how to change ports, and then that'll make your life a lot easier as far as getting this thing up and running. So basically, you have to start off with this folder here. Change the IP address to your public. Don't change anything in the port. You're going to have to change this one too. I don't know if there's a way you can actually use Navicat. So for example, make a new connection and have new and old connection, and then not new and old, but have like a one for online purposes and one for offline. I haven't actually tested that. It's something I just thought about on the spot. So for example, here, if I open this Darkstar, it's going to have the zone settings folder. You open here, and this is the local IP address. So you're going to have to get your public IP address. You're going to change everything in here. So every IP address from your local to your public. And basically what this is going to do, this is going to allow the people who are playing your server to basically go into different zones. And this is the port that corresponds with that location. So the IP address and the port will connect to the locations here. It's very important for this port to be open. Or what's going to happen is that they're going to try to go to a location, and they're going to get an error, and most likely the game will crash. So that's something to keep in mind. So not only this folder here, you're going to have to go back into Darkstar map. You're going to have to change it here. You're going to have to change it going down here. is basically just scroll down everywhere and just change the IP address to your public, even here. the message here. Okay, now going back, let's go into this folder, server search. Basically, server search, again, this is just when you open the auction house, people are able to basically open from anywhere. So you have to change it here as well. And that's pretty much the only three things you have to change. Other than that, you don't have to change anything else. As far as the three folders, so the server search, the login, and the server message, I don't think you have to change it. Yeah, nothing here. It basically just open all the folders. You see maintenance, no, you have to change nothing there. So it's the login. The login is basically for people to be able to log into the game, your server. The server search, this is for the auction house, and I believe that is it. Sorry, in the map server. Sorry, this one here too. And that's pretty much it. I mean, as you can see, it's not that difficult. It just the only thing that takes a lot of time is this one here. And there's a way you can like actually copy. You just copy and just hold a couple of keys and just kind of use the mouse wheel to go down. I think I did it that way. And yeah, you'll figure it out. It's not that difficult. And other than that, you're pretty much set with that. And the last thing I want to go over very quickly before I forget is you're gonna if you want to change, if you look at this, so map .story config. So starting from the top, let me just go ahead and go down here. Let's go down slowly. So if you want to make some changes as far as like the so the skill up chance manipulator. So what you're gonna have to do, if you want them to skill up a lot faster, you can change. Also do the crafting as well. So you can actually just adjust this number. Here, this is for the summoner. So the skill up the blood pact. You can make a lot of adjustments here. Let's see here. Go down here. So the TP manipulator. So how I guess how many points of TP they're able to accumulate within a certain hit. I'm not exactly sure, but everything can be adjusted here. And so the notorious monster stat manipulator, so you make the notorious monster a lot stronger. I don't know if there's a maximum number or not, but if I want to type 2 or something like that, that is possible. So the player stat manipulator, you can make some changes here. So basically the main one I want to go over is there's an EXP rate. So this one here, so EXP rate, I believe a lot of private servers have it on 8, I believe. And what I did to my private server is I put mine, so when you die, you don't lose any experience points. Very similar to Final Fantasy 14. Maybe you can have the person lose some gil or something, I don't know. But if they start off with no gil, then they can't lose anything, right? So that's why you have to be very creative as far as what you want to do on your server, and that's going to make it more interesting. And I believe, so level sync. So everything is actually listed here. The thing is, once you make any changes here, you have to restart the server for it to reflect. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. You just have to just make adjustments, go in there, test it out, and if it's what you like, then you can keep it there. Again, I always recommend making a backup of everything you do. So if you maybe you accidentally delete something and something is wrong, you can always just go back and and fix it basically. And yeah, so that's gonna be it. If you have any questions, I can actually just paste in the comments as far as how to get your friends to play on your private server. There's kind of a tutorial. It's not too long as far as like what to read on how to get it done. But yeah, so that's gonna be it. If you have any questions, please list them in the comments, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.